E salve galera, eu tô aqui com um amigo meu que eu queria apresentar pra vocês. É um amigo que costumava morar aqui em Las Vegas, onde eu moro. Hoje ele mora em Los Angeles e uma vez a gente saiu e ele contou uma história, uma experiência que ele teve com um tabuleiro Ouija. Então eu vou pedir pra ele explicar como é que foi a experiência dele aí. Ele não tá entendendo nada do que eu tô falando, então eu vou mudar pra inglês pra poder conversar com ele aqui com vocês, beleza? Então vamos lá. All right, everyone, welcome to the channel. This is my friend David, and he had an experience with a Ouija board. And there was this one time we went out and he told us all about it. So I wanted to invite him to come over to the channel and tell you guys his story and exactly how it went down, how it happened. It was pretty interesting. So, hey, David, how are you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, man. Thanks for being here. Welcome to the channel.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess it happened 2006, 2007-ish, like the one and only time I used a Ouija board. I was living in Reno at the time, this city in Nevada, about 8 hours away from Vegas, and I don't remember why we decided to get a Ouija board. I think I went to Toys R Us and bought it. Plastic board. Took it back to our apartment, and me and my ex-girlfriend, my girlfriend at the time, we both used it, and things got a little bit weird. At first, nothing was happening, but after a second there, it started moving. The thing is, it's like, I know I wasn't moving it, and we knew each other really well back then. She was kind of into paranormal stuff like that, and she was a little bit afraid of it. I think I convinced her to actually use it, trying to have fun. So I know she wasn't moving it either. And then we started just asking it questions. What's your name? I think that's how we started. I think that's how you're supposed to start. I probably looked up directions on the internet or something, but we asked what your name is, and it spelled out Nico. Then we started asking more and more questions. I can't remember exactly what questions we were asking and the answers we were getting, but eventually it stopped giving answers. It would spell out NO and then move to no, and it started doing it really fast, like super fast and accurate. Like there's no way. If I was trying to actually move it myself, there's no way I could do it as fast and like as accurate it was. It was almost like a computer, it moving to the end, shooting to the O, and then shooting up to no. And it would do that for every single question we asked. And eventually, my girlfriend at the time, she wanted it to stop. This was kind of freaking her out, so we stopped. Yeah, so we stopped, and yeah, I remember our apartment was pretty creepy. We lived in a really old part. Reno's an old town. The apartment we lived in was super old too. I don't know who lived in there before us, but it was pretty creepy. Even before we used the Ouija board. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. I remember, maybe a year or two later, we were separated by then, and she had called me and told me I needed to get rid of it.
Come back to the apartment and take it away.
Yeah, I literally drove out and threw it away in like a dumpster somewhere, because I had read stories about it showing up, and I don't know if you've read stories about Ouija boards or anything. Like I found them pretty interesting, but
yeah,
she was afraid it would, like, there's all these stories about Ouija boards where if you throw it away, it'll appear in your house somewhere in the closet or something.
It'll find its way back.
Yeah, it's a common story of the Ouija board. So she made me like drive somewhere and like throw it in a dumpster. But yeah, that was the last time we ever used one. I never used one other than that. It was kind of creepy. It was pretty creepy.
Yeah, that was a crazy story. I remember when you told us last year, and man, like just the idea of something that's nothing but an inanimate object like that, a wooden board with letters and numbers, being able to, summon something and get in touch with the other side like that. That's pretty crazy. And yeah. I was reading up a little bit on it because I never really understood, how exactly the whole thing works. But I was looking at a website here, and it says that this started a long time ago when people, during war times, they couldn't get a hold of, people's identities or anything. They couldn't really like say goodbyes or whatever, and
Mhm.
bury their dads, or and so because of that, they decided to come up with something and try something, and it ended up working. Whereas this board was able to get people in touch with the other side, which is really crazy if you think about it. Like,
Yeah.
and then of course, the mainstream media and the movies in Hollywood, and movies like The Exorcist, like the board started from something that was supposed to be good, and
Yeah.
where you just get in touch with the other side and get in touch with your loved ones that passed. It became something that summons an evil spirit, like demonic possession and stuff like that. So it's very interesting, the concept. I wouldn't mess with one because I don't know what I could bring back, or if I would bring something back.
Yeah.
It's not something that I don't think I'd be brave enough to do. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting concept. I thought your story was really interesting because of how you described it, that you were like touching the little
Mhm.
wooden piece that moves. They're supposed to
Yeah.
move the letters to ask questions, and then it basically just started moving on its own to the letters and everywhere without you
Yeah.
even touching it, without you like without you actually moving it. So yeah, that's got to be scary.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. I mean, I wasn't really afraid when we were doing it, and it was kind of fascinating to me.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
I was interested in it, but no, my girlfriend, she was afraid.
Hmm.
She's afraid of all that stuff. So, but yeah, yeah. I mean, the way to, like, I guess, contact the dead, or spirits, or something from the other side. Like, there's lots of ways to do it. I don't personally think that the Ouija board in particular has some kind of power. I think it lies somewhere in the human psyche or something like that, and that the board is just a way to focus it or something like that. Because there's lots of ways. If you go back to, like, the Victorian era, like late 1800s or whatever, spiritualism was like a huge, huge thing, and there were
Right.
tons of different ways that people would, like, contact spirits and stuff like that. I think that's when the Ouija board was,
Was
I
first
guess,
created.
invented. Yeah, yeah, and then
Hmm.
it was bought up by uh, a toy company, so they make it as a
Yeah.
toy now. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's crazy interesting, and I mean, I have fun reading about it now. It's nice, but I don't think I'd ever use one again.
Yeah, I don't think I would ever try, because everyone I ever talked to that tried it, they said that something weird happened. Even if it's something minor, some kind of unexplainable paranormal,
Mhm.
um, event or something happened, and I just it's not something I'd be brave enough to try. I don't think. The way I see it from talking to a person that a long time ago, there was this lady that I used to talk to that claim to be able to see spirits. And even here on the channel, a lot of our subscribers sometimes say they can actually see and communicate with spirits, without the help of a Ouija board or anything like that. And they tell me that many times they're just, during the night, and these spirits just appear to them, and start, communicating with them. So I just think that, I mean, if I am to believe this, the paranormal side of things, I would say spirits are probably amongst us the entire time. We just can't see them because we don't have the, we just can't see them. We don't have the, how do you say, that sixth sense, or whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it. And certain people do have that, and they don't need any means to communicate with them. They just do. And the Ouija board is more like a thing where you lay that out, and if there's a spirit around, they will move that to try to reach you and communicate with you. So that's
yeah,
how I see it, I guess. And yeah, there might be good spirits and evil spirits, I guess. So it's kind of how I see it.
yeah. I mean, I think that's. I mean, even if you go in, like, the world of physics, like, there's so much of the world we can't perceive. Like, even like the mundane, like sight. we can only see a tiny, tiny sliver of what, light is actually out there compared to, even animals and stuff like that. Who's to say there's spirits or, things living in a different, dimension than the three spaces that we can interact with. Maybe we can't, but they can. I don't know.
It's very true. Yeah, man. And like we were talking last year when we went, on that trip,
Yeah.
like discussing Area 51 and places like that. In Utah, there's a Skinwalker Ranch. There's another place that's like full of paranormal activity, supposedly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It would be great to like be able to get access to those things and find the secrets. Be able to actually see what's going on.
Yeah, I think Skinwalker Ranch is owned by Bigelow. He does something with UFOs, or he like researches them, or he owns a company that researches them, or contracts out from the government, or something like that. But yeah, he bought up the Skinwalker Ranch.
Yep. And that's another thing I was reading up about a little bit, and there's just so much about it that's unexplainable, like small tremors on the land that no one can explain why, and it just happens in that area. People that start having weird visions and feel weird after spending some time there, even after they go home. It's
Dude, Skinwalker Ranch is something else entirely, though. I mean, I don't know how much you read about it, but there's like, things died, cattle mutilation. Like the one of the original owners there, like trying to chase something. Like he saw something chasing the trees. His dogs ran into the tree line, and he all he heard was his dog like, doing like when a dog gets hurt, like yelps and like screeches, and then came over and his dogs were dead. And I don't. So I don't know. Skinwalker Ranch is something else, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no one can explain those cattle mutilation and all that stuff that goes down there.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude. Yeah, who knows what's out there?
I know, right? Yeah,
dude.
That'd be cool. I mean, at least you can go on a trip to a beautiful place in Utah, right?
Yeah, check out new places.
Yep.
For you guys don't know, me and Dave and a couple other friends, we went to a ghost town here in Vegas. Well, not here in Vegas. It's called Rhyolite last year, and that place was really cool. It used to be where the gold miners would go to. It was founded in the start of the 1900s, and it lasted very little. Now it's all in ruins. We went out there. It was pretty amazing trip. For the first time ever, because we were away from the city, we were like, far into the desert, we could see the Milky Way and the stars very clearly up in the sky. It was pretty beautiful, actually. It was nice. And exploring those places, in the train and the bank and all the buildings that are now just in ruins. That was pretty cool too. We were trying to look, maybe check out the places if there's any paranormal activity or anything like that. We filmed everything, but the video was very like, it was so windy, and so it's very loud and hard to hear.
Yeah.
I might at some point finish editing everything and post here on the channel, but it was a very interesting trip as well. Yeah, cool. And California too has some ghost towns, places that were deserted a long time ago, and that people claim to have paranormal activity. So
Reno would be another good place to go. There's a ton of, you can go to Virginia City. Virginia City is renowned for all types of like supernatural activity. They have like one of the oldest cemeteries too. A bunch of films were filmed in the cemetery, and everybody can supposedly see lights in the cemetery at night and some other stuff. So,
right,
cool stuff.
Last year on the way to Rhyolite, like we didn't have time or anything, but there's this hotel that was in movies. I think that show Ghost Adventures was there once to do a paranormal investigation.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Tonopah.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that was the one. And like any hotels where anything like crazy, a tragedy or murder or anything crazy like that happened, there's always stories like that of paranormal activity involved in the place. So yeah, it's You know, I don't know if I don't know if we actually went down to a place like that and experienced something for ourselves and saw something happen right before our eyes, if we would be okay with it. But I mean, it would be interesting to see, you know.
Yeah, it would definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet. Hey, David, I really want to thank you for being here on the channel and for, you know, coming on and talk about your experiences and all that. It was really cool. Appreciate it. And yeah, man. Thank you very much, brother.
Thanks for the interview.
Of course. Yeah. Anything else you want to add to?
That's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, there wasn't anything other than that. Yeah, it was very creepy and creepy enough to where I'll probably never use one again. But yeah,
I bet, yeah.
you know,
I probably never will, even though I never tried before.
yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Right. É isso aí, galera. Muito obrigado por assistir. Esse foi o meu amigo David. Eu queria trazer ele pro canal para ele contar, né, a experiência dele com o Tabuleiro Ouija. Se você alguma vez teve uma experiência dessa, né, que você tentou fazer contato a partir do, através do tabuleiro, deixa um comentário aí embaixo para me contar a sua experiência. E é isso aí. Muito obrigado por assistir e até a próxima.